Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today we'll be continuing my series of the top albums of 2021. I'll be covering different musical genres in rock and metal. So in today's video, I'm talking about the top 10 rock albums of 2021. So this will include bands falling under the category of either like rock or hard rock. Remember, if I don't include an album, I may be saving it for another list. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Coming in number 10 is Daughtry with Dearly Beloved. This is an album, I didn't like it as much at first, but it did kind of grow on me. So we know Chris Daughtry, he was a contestant on American Idol. He actually was voted off in the 4th place on season 5, but he's actually one of the most successful members of American Idol. And this is an album that is kind of like a mixture of like hard rock, that like post-grunge, but also like modern pop. But it's very well done. The songs are very well written. Some pretty good songs on here, and that's why I have it at number 10. At number 9, I have Eclipse with Wired, a band from Stockholm, Sweden, led by Eric Martinson. And they kind of have this like a magic formula for writing songs. It has a very like 80s hair metal sound with some modern pop influence. I'm thinking of bands like Bon Jovi or maybe like Def Leppard, even hints of Van Halen. But there's lots of great songs in here. But one song like Saturday Night Hallelujah, really good song, has some guitar scrapes that actually reminds me a lot of Van Halen on that one. At number 8, I have MSG or Michael Schenker Group with Immortal. So Michael Schenker, he started out in the Scorpions. He was like 14 years old. Then he went on to a UFO in like the early 70s, and then he went on to do a solo career. But this was released the same day as Accepts Too Mean to Die. Probably could have been on my metal list, but I'll put it in the hard rock category. He has a few big name singers on the album. So he has Drilled to Kill with Ralph Sheepers. And I remember in my original review of this, I called it Dressed to Kill, and I heard about it in the comment section. Anyway, that was a nice heavy song. Another one, Don't Die on Me Now. This one is Joe Lynn Turner. He was like from Rainbow. This is more of a melodic rock song. And Night of the Dead with Ronnie Romero, also from Rainbow and a couple of other bands. This is more of a hard rock song. So this is a pretty good one. At number 7 is Alcatraz with V or 5. And this one has a sound that kind of brings back that like sound of like Rainbow or Deep Purple. Very it's a heavy band. This is a band that kind of goes back to the 80s. It started with Yngwie Malmsteen, and they went through a lot of different people. But the sound mixes old school 80s heavy metal mixed with a little bit of classic rock and power metal. So we got Guardian Angel, really a great song. Got some heavy metal shredding, nice drum beat in that one, and kind of sounds a little bit like Deep Purple. Coming in number 6 is Night Ranger with ATBPO or And the Band Played On. So this is a band, you know them, they've been around a long time. They had a big hit, Sister Christian. And this one is actually liked it a little better than I thought. It was a little like harder, harder rocking. And it did have kind of a country music tone in some of the songs, but I thought that was cool. There were some electric guitar riffs. I liked that part. And I pretty much liked all the songs to some degree. So, Can't Afford a Hero, that's probably my favorite song. It's a ballad, kind of has acoustic guitars, Jack Blades, kind of singing power metal style. Very catchy country music type of sound, and kind of would have been a radio hit, but I really like the lyrics in that one. Another one, Cold as December. Kind of starts out slow, but it's a hard rocking arena rock song. Has lots of guitars in the intro. And very heavy, kind of reminds me a little of Deep Purple. I do hear a slight Led Zeppelin influence. And if you like classic rock, you'll like this song, and you'll definitely like this album. At number 5, I have the Dead Daisies with Holy Ground. So this is a supergroup collective. They have a revolving lineup. I know John Corabi used to be in it, but now on this album they have Glenn Hughes. He plays bass and he does vocals, and Glenn Hughes has sung for Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, and it's a hard rock album. So you like bands like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, you'd probably like this. A couple of good songs, Bustle and Flow, kind of has a sound of like Deep Purple meeting like 90s alternative. Chosen and Justified, kind of hard driving intro, nice arena rock sound. 30 Days in a Hole, this one kind of reminds me of a little Van Halen and with the guitar riffs. And the vocals, I know Glenn Hughes is kind of sounding a little like Sammy Hagar in this one. So if you like that type of music, definitely check out this album. You'll probably like it. And number 4 is Miles Kennedy with The Ides of March. Another album I wasn't expecting to review it at first. I liked it a lot more than I thought. And it's mostly blues rock, but he does mix a little bit of that alternative rock or post-grunge, and there's a lot of variety on the album. You know, most of the songs are a little different than the others. Some rockers, some ballads. So if you like classic rock, you like Led Zeppelin, ZZ Top, or Whitesnake, you know, you'll probably like this album. Songs are really good, and this album doesn't really have any fillers, so pretty much everything's good. So probably the one I liked was called Wake Me When It's Over. It's Miles talking about his struggles with alcohol addiction, and very similar to like a Foo Fighters type of song. Has those loud guitars, typical post-grunge, like chord progressions. But he does change it up a lot, keeps it interesting, and the song has a very like big arena rock chorus. There's some bluesy slide lead guitar in the song, kind of adds a lot of variety. And also the title track, The Ides of March, one of the longer songs, but it's very like an epic type of song, very classic rock, reminds me of like old Rush maybe, but that's a really great song. Actually the whole album is great. Everything from here on is a really good album. Number 3, I have Greta Van Fleet with The Battle at Garden's Gate. Now this is a band, you know, they were labeled as Led Zeppelin clones. If you watch my full review, I kind of do a whole rant on, you know, why that shouldn't matter. But this one, they kind of changed a little bit. They're kind of moving more towards just like straightforward classic rock. So the vocalist's name is Josh Kiskis. His vocals are moving away from that Robert Plant sound, more of like the Geddy Lee from those early Rush albums. Think of like Fly By Night. And this is a really great album. I know a lot of other channels were giving this a lot of praise, especially like the metal channels. You do hear lots of influence. You hear like Rolling Stones, you hear Black Crowes, and lots of great songs. Probably my favorite song, Built by Nations, really cool blues rock in the intro. A lot of like there's a Jimi Hendrix influence you hear there. And I really like the drumming, kind of a little bit of reminiscent of that John Bonham's playing. Has some backup vocals, and the guitars is really great. It has a sound of 70s classic rock. I also hear a little bit of the prog rock on the song as well, and it's just a good album overall. Coming in number 2 is Dirty Honey. This is a self-titled full debut album, even though it's only like 30 minutes and they released an EP that's pretty much just as long. But anyway, another up-and-coming band. They play hard rock in the style of bands like Aerosmith, GNR, and AC/DC, and it's really good. So one song I like is called Tied Up. Really hard rock. It reminds me of early Aerosmith. Has some backup vocals and a lot of like soulfulness in the song, and a really good guitar solo. I also like the a cappella singing. And really great song. Another good song I like is called No Warning. Just straightforward rock. It reminds me of that like AC/DC or maybe like the Black Crowes. And also real nice bass sound in it. So if you like that type of rock, Dirty Honey, self-titled. It's a short album, but I have it at number 2 because it's just really good. At number 1, I have The Pretty Reckless with Death by Rock and Roll. This is a band. They've been around since 2010, so they're kind of a newer band. Lead singer, her name is Taylor Momsen, and she also plays rhythm guitar. She's a former actress. You might know her from Gossip Girl. She was also like the little girl in the Grinch movie. You know, I think that was in the early 2000s. Now she's no longer an actor. She is just a singer in the band, and this band is just plays some kind of grunge stuff like Only Love Can Save Me Now. This has some members of Soundgarden, and it's just a very like a Soundgarden type of song. Just think of Soundgarden with like a female singer, maybe someone like Courtney Love, and that's the type of sound it is. But other great songs are just straightforward rock and roll. We have songs like 25, Rock and Roll Heaven, and Got So High. This is just a really great album, and this is a band I never really listened to them before this year and before this album, but just one of those bands I got into this year. So that's it. Tomorrow I will be doing top 5 progressive metal of 2021. I'll be continuing my series until this week, until Friday. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'll put some other videos there, and see you all in the next one.